This is the KoperCrabb Podcast.
I'm Chaney Crabb.
I am Navene Copperweiss.
If you would like to buy KoperCrabb Podcast merch, go to KoperCrabb.BigCartel.com. If you would like to buy ENTHEOS merch, that is the band that we're in, then go to www.ENTHEOSstore.com. I guess we announced our new album last week. So we haven't talked about it on the podcast, but the name of the album is Time Will Take Us All. It's out on March 3rd. And you can pre-order the vinyl, CD. Metal Blade has a t-shirt. You can pre-order all of that stuff. We'll put the link in the description, but it's like...
We have a...
Go to linktree.com/ENTHEOS official.
And we have a pre-order for some merch too, right?
Yeah, we have a pre-order for album art merch as well, which is at ENTHEOSstore.com.
ENTHEOSstore.com, official.
Yeah, you heard it here first if you were listening last week that I finally paid for a URL.
It was $20.
It was $20 and it took me about 2 minutes to set up. So don't know why we've been slacking.
That's like
that.
How everybody makes a huge deal out of making an LLC.
Yeah.
Dude, LLC.
They're like, you have to hire a lawyer and it costs $5 trillion.
I literally, first of all, I'm not business savvy at all.
Mm-hmm.
I made us an LLC in I want to say 15 minutes.
Yeah.
With the LLC and the tax ID.
Super easy.
You just go make an LLC in Tennessee, and then it takes you to a government webpage, and you just put what you want it to be called, and then you give them $500.
We paid $500 for our LLC.
Yeah.
Jesus
I know.
Christ.
It's insanity.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's what,
But
you got to cost money to make money, right? That's what they say.
I'm only experiencing the cost money part.
I know.
This is costing
when
money.
do you make it? That's what you just keep telling yourself that, and someday you make money, and then you die.
But yeah, I just everybody out there, if you want to set up an LLC for your band, really not that hard. Don't go to LegalZoom. Don't do any of that bull. Just
Hell no!
Go
don't.
to the government website.
Also,
make the
don't go
LLC.
ask a lawyer. Just make an LLC.
It's really not.
Get yourself a bank account.
Really easy. Yeah, I did all that stuff this
Yeah,
week.
but also.
So ENTHEOS is official now. We're a real business, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
ENTHEOS LLC.
So that's how we refer to the band now. That's how we refer to ourselves. ENTHEOS LLC.
Let's make a shirt that says that.
That's how we're going to sign everything. ENTHEOS LLC. Dude, ENTHEOS LLC down the sleeve.
Oh,
multiple
man.
print.
That would be sick.
That's what all the merch is saying now.
I back it.
We should sell that as a KoperCrabb shirt. ENTHEOS LLC. Tennessee. So today you were watching sports on TV, or what was the...
No, that sucked. But we were going to talk about how I decided that I'd hate sports, which I already didn't like sports, but now I'm like, sports suck. What are we doing with these sports?
Because you saw it on TV today?
Yeah, but we should announce when the album actually comes out. We didn't announce it. March 3rd.
March 3rd. I think I did say that, but...
Oh. I don't know.
We'll say it again. Hey, it comes out March 3rd. Let's say
Time Will Take Us All, new ENTHEOS LLC album coming out March 3rd.
That's why I'm having a choking fit over here because you keep cracking jokes.
The day is finally here that we get to announce the album.
I know, I can't believe
we didn't even
that.
get to do it last week.
We didn't because we were trying to keep it a secret. Yeah. We put out a rock song last week as well called I'm the Void.
We rocked it. And it seems like people are picking up on the vibe that it's supposed to be kind of like a 90s rock song.
Yeah, which is cool because when you're making a song, that goes through your mind. Like, are people going to understand what we're going for on this? And it really, it's reassuring. It's cool to hear repeated back to you what you intended to do with something.
Yeah, I know. It's really cool. It seems like people are picking up on... Each single that we put out, people will make comments that make me think like, wow, people get it.
Me
too.
Cool. I know. I can't believe it.
It's never really happened before. So
yeah,
I'm stoked on that.
It's really cool. But yeah, it's been exciting to announce our album because like we said last week, we've been talking about that album since we started the podcast.
Just
so
we swear we got an album coming out at some point.
I know. I
ridiculous.
promise we're working on it. I'll just keep working on this album.
I don't know how anybody listens to the podcast. Like
Phantom
hearing
album.
about this album for 2.5 years on a podcast. That's what the podcast has been about. We have an album coming out at some point.
That has been
Ridiculous.
the main general theme of the podcast.
But there's been a lot of ups and downs. And
well, it took us a long time to get here. It's interesting because I'm like, a part of the rollout of an album is you start to do interviews. So I've been doing a lot of interviews lately, and people have been asked, like the other day I did one with Metal Hammer. And the interviewer asked me, why it took us so long to put out the record. She didn't really ask that question. She just mentioned that it had been 5 years since we put out a record. And I was like, I started talking about all of the things we've been through in those 5 years. And it's like, we had to go through a lot to get to this point to put an album out.
it's like a reband. Like rebranding?
Yeah.
We're rebanding.
We reband.
We rebanded. I'll take it. The album's, I'm proud of it.
I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, I honestly couldn't hope for a better reaction than what we're getting. I mean, I guess I could hope for 1 million views or something on the music video. That'd be better, but it's still really sick.
No, it's awesome. But yeah, if you guys want to pre-order it, you can do it. A
lot of people have been pre-ordering that vinyl.
Yeah, I think the gold vinyl is going pretty quickly. So none of the records are a limited edition, but there's no telling how long it will take for us to repress the records. So they are the first press, and I think there are only 300 gold ones, and they're going really quickly. So I would grab one soon if you want one.
Yeah, they're selling really well. I'm stoked on it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited for people to hear it. I'm excited to go out and play shows and do the tour thing on this record. It'll be a lot of fun.
The tour thing.
Yeah.
It's going to be sick. We're coming to Europe soon. Coming at you guys.
Yeah, at the end of next month. Did we talk about that before the podcast or on the podcast?
We were talking about it on the pre-show.
Okay. Yeah, so right now we're starting we're kind of in the middle of all of the planning for going to Europe because it's a different process. Planning a tour.
Global.
We're going global, baby. But it's a different process planning a tour, in a different country.
They have different terms for things in Europe, which is annoying. Like here, there's something called a guarantee. That's how much you get paid to play. There, they call it a fee. So it always confuses me.
Yeah, because here...
Hey, what about your fees? I'm like, well, who am I paying the fee to? What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
But it's my fee, I
because
guess.
To us, a fee insinuates that we owe someone money.
Yeah. How do you want to get your fees? I'm like, well, I don't want fees.
It's like, yeah.
What are you talking about?
I have enough fees.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Guarantee is good. There's no other guarantee that we know of, right? What's your guarantee? It's okay, I know what that is.
Yeah.
It's very cut and dry.
I actually like when it's called a guarantee because then you're guaranteed that money.
Guaranteed the money.
A fee is a little am I going to...
You can haggle on fees.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know about that fee. That seems a little too much.
Yeah. So there are things that are a little different. We have to get merch sent to the first venue, which isn't that different than tour because when we restock in the middle of a tour, we'll have merch sent to, usually we actually have it sent to a UPS store. But after this mishap we had on Tech Trek, I don't know if I'll do that again. Because the last time we were on tour, we had...
Really bad.
Merch was selling really quickly and we didn't quite plan on it to sell that quickly. So we had... merch sent to a UPS store. I can't remember what city it was in.
Atlanta.
In Atlanta.
I'll never forget it.
And it was 12 boxes of merch. And we were counting on this because we were running out.
We were finally doing really well on a tour. Okay. I'm not trying to brag. We've done so-so on tours, terrible. We've done everywhere you can imagine. On this tour, we were doing really good. And we were finally selling stuff. And then what happens? Boom. They lose all the merch.
Yeah, they lost 12 boxes of merch.
I don't even know what happened.
No, here's what happened.
Oh, they sent it back.
Yeah, so here's what happened. So it actually had been confirmed that we could keep the 12 boxes of merch at that UPS store. by the person who sold us the merch. And instead of calling us and checking with us, the UPS store, when they got the boxes, okay, here's what happened. They got the boxes, they called me, and I couldn't answer my phone. I didn't know what it was.
Oh, they did try to call?
I think so.
Well, that changes the story.
But within a half an hour, they only gave it a half an hour. That was the issue.
Who does that?
They gave it a half an hour for me to call back, and within a half an hour, they sent the merch back.
I was like,
so
you
it
guys
was,
fucked us. I was like, you fucked us.
At least I think they tried to call.
It was bad.
I can't remember, but...
No, I don't think they tried to call.
Yeah, maybe they didn't.
I don't think they tried to, because I was like, did you try to get a hold of us or what? I remember I was like all pissed. We made it work anyway, but it was terrible.
It was terrible.
And that's why we have so many of that freaking blue design shirt. That's why.
That is true.
Because we didn't get it till after tour. We get like 1 million shirts, which we don't even need.
Yeah, we got all 12 of those boxes. So what we actually had to do is I scrambled in New York to get us like a certain number of shirts, as many shirts as I could get us within like 2 days. And then I also scrambled, and my friend from Des Moines, or my friends, Method Ink Screen Printing, got us merch in like on a day or two notice. So we scrambled through a good portion of the tour because of that. 12 boxes is a lot of merch.
It was really bad.
So that sucked,
but we made it work.
And I'm looking at some of those 12 boxes right now, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Because we got them all after the tour.
Still dealing with the repercussions of that.
It's crazy how stuff like that can just, alter. You have to deal like with things like that all the time on tour.
I know, and that's actually something that Chaney and I were talking about earlier. This is in the vicinity, and that is realistic expectations of what things are like.
Yeah.
I mean, even when you're in a big band or whatever, not saying that we're super big, but even I've been around big bands and stuff, there's all kinds of crazy stuff that happens, ups and downs. It's not like you get it in your head, oh, it's going to be all perfect once I'm here.
Oh, no.
It's not really. It's the same type of stuff. You're running around. There's more people there, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But at any stage of life, there's always ups and downs. There's the good and bad. That's how it is here on this planet.
Yeah, that's very true. Touring is like that. It's just, everything is like that.
Yeah.
There's a good and a bad to not touring and being at home and, having a different kind of job. And there is good and bad to being a touring person, and anything you do. Yeah. There's any way you spin it, there are going to be good days and there are going to be bad days. And that really is what life is all about, is figuring out a way to manage all of those days. Because there's something that I've been trying to put into words lately to Navene, and it's that, I watch shows like Intervention and stuff like that a lot, and I notice, so in a room, without a person in it, the room is completely calm. There's nothing wrong. It's just a room. But when a person comes in, a person can cause the chaos. A person is what brings in the darkness or the brightness or whatever. It's all within you. So life is about how you deal with all of those things. And you can choose to bring whatever anxieties into a situation or whatever understanding into a situation that you want to. Of course, there are things that are beyond our control. I would never say that there aren't. But a lot of things that we come across in life, it's all about, keeping a steady head, steady mind, and just rolling with the punches.
Yeah, it's all meant for our evolution.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you're wasting an opportunity to evolve, right?
Yeah.
Like today, I was like, well, you kind of brought it up earlier, but I went and did my old job today. Did some installations, which I haven't done in a while. But I get some here and there in Nashville, and I'll go do them. And then today I was like, a million things went wrong. And I had to come home and get something and blah, 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 which was like a 45-minute drive. But I don't know. For some reason, I was just kind of focused on, I was just looking at it as like, okay, I have the opportunity to just kind of keep a smile on my face and whistle while I work, or freak out. But I didn't freak out. I was just having a good time. I was listening to music in my headphones, having fun.
It's not always easy to do that.
But it's going to be like
well,
that everywhere.
you know?
That's what. And then I think when I got home, I was telling you about that. You know, it's like people kind of have it in their head, like, oh, once I get into a big band, or once I get a new car, or once I get this, all my problems will be solved. It's not like that.
No, not at all.
Your problems won't be solved in that way. They're cool. It's nice to have those things, but it's not going to solve our problems.
No.
So that's, I think, I like to bring this up, especially for musicians, because since we have so much emotion tied to what we're doing, we do get it in our heads that things are going to be like perfect when you get to a certain level. And you see it with actors and, you know, like Jim Carrey. There's tons of actors who have said that, you know, once they kind of got and saw behind the curtain, they were like, okay, this is not what I expected.
Of course. Nothing ever is like everything that you dream of can come true. I really believe that if you put your mind to the things that you want to do in this life, you really can make anything happen for sure. But having it in your mind that thing is going to solve all of your problems or make you a different person, a happier person, or, set. That's just, it does not exist. 100% does not exist. Yeah. There are things that make life easier. There are things that make life easier. Like it obviously makes life easier to be able to afford a house, food, water, like all of the necessities in life. But I think once you get past a certain point, life just kind of is.
Yeah, and if it wasn't that way, there wouldn't be rich and famous people who are drug addicts or who kill themselves or who are depressed or you name it. So yeah, word of caution. Yeah. Navene and Chaney. Oh yeah, but I was at this guy's house. So now we were getting deep. Let's go the other way. He had sports on the TV, and it was like Sports Center. They're like shouting about sports or whatever. I was like, I think I'd hate sports. Sports, not my thing. Well, like the reason why this came up was because somebody in the pre-show was talking about, like, what do you guys think about this, the Buccaneers or whatever?
I think it was the Mayos, actually,
and
because
I
can't believe
I don't think I could care less. Seriously, sports, not down. I'm out. Tapping out. I used to be neutral. Oh, maybe it's pretty cool. Maybe it'd be cool to know about sports. Now I'm like, don't like sports. Not my thing.
I mean, I think there was a point where I was like watching MMA, and that was cool.
Even but that, I'm over it.
I was into it for maybe a month.
Yeah, I'm over it. Hey, some people don't like death metal. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Power to them.
And some people get into it for a month and they're out of it.
No problem. Not
for some people, sports is like a lifelong thing, and more power to them.
Not for me.
I cannot bring myself to emotionally invest in any kind of sport. About it. I don't know why. I liked playing sports when I was a kid, but unless I'm directly involved in it, I don't know. It's just not my thing. But like you said,
we used to play sports.
I guess I'm invested in music, and for some people, music is not their thing.
That's true.
I have a friend.
Dead people.
Dead people?
That's who it's not for. Because everybody loves music.
I don't know. I actually have a friend who's not that into music. And that was always super weird to me.
That is weird.
She just said she just doesn't care about music. She's
not
she's more like
music. I just have a hard time believing that.
Well, I just think that, there are some people who are okay with just listening to whatever music comes on the radio.
I know, but she probably likes it when it comes on, right?
Yeah, I think she's down. Yeah, I don't know. She's just not. She's down. She tolerates it. I think that's it.
What if there's anybody who doesn't like it? Like, I can't stand it.
I'm against music. Completely
I don't
anti-music.
know. I don't think so. Unless they were seriously deranged.
With a sign, stop music. Protesting. I'll protest them. That is something that's something I would protest, I think.
Anti-music people?
An anti-music person.
Because I think even if you were anti-music, it would be for, like a religious reason. Some other reason other than they just don't like the sound of music.
Right. Most religions, I think, have music tied in. That's a part of what keeps people around.
Yeah, it's part of the thing.
I mean, dude, there are some church bands that are like gospel, just ripping gospel chops.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
100%.
Come on, man. Well, speaking of music, so I have this goal for this year that I came up with, and I've been writing down on my computer, taking notes of a ton of like albums that are classics, important albums that I may have missed over the years.
Dude, Chaney, when you told me that, I was like, that's such a good idea. That could be like those viral like copy and paste Facebook posts?
Yeah.
That could be one.
Yeah.
Like 10 albums I missed that I'm going to go listen to.
So I have
really cool.
Have started a list. You know, the first discography that I decided to go through, because I have never gotten like super into Mastodon, but what I have heard I've always liked. And I like a lot of bands who I know take influence from Mastodon. I just, for some reason, have never like gone through their entire discography. We've been on tour with people who are way into them. So I just started at Leviathan. I think there's one before Leviathan, right? I can't remember, but I started at Leviathan. And
there is. It's called, I can picture the cover.
I can't remember.
Transmission.
I need to listen to it.
Remission.
I was close.
Okay.
I was close. Transmission. Why would it be that? That's like a.
Well, you never know.
Part of a car.
That isn't part of a car. So, yeah, I started with Mastodon's discography, and I'm gonna say I think state the obvious. Most people know this. Leviathan, I think, is my favorite Mastodon record.
So good. It's when you were listening to it,
insanely good. What are you gonna say?
That's because you didn't listen to Remission.
Oh, I haven't listened to Remission. That's true. I'll listen to it tomorrow. So I'm like every morning when I wake up, because I've also discovered that if I wake up in the morning and just turn on music, then I'm in such a good mood all day. Like it changes my day. So I'm trying to wake up every morning and put on a new album to start the day.
I got one for you to add. One that you missed.
What?
Missed. Cephalic Carnage, Lucid Interval.
No, I know that record. I've listened to that record a lot.
Really?
Yes.
A lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I have.
Well, then never mind.
I'll listen to it again. But I've already listened to it too much to put it on my list.
I was going to try to think of something that you might have missed.
Yeah, I figured you might have some. But anyway, if anyone has any suggestions, then please message me. I try to look through my inbox as much as I can and reply to people. And
albums you may have missed.
Yeah. So I have Mastodon. There was also... This wasn't like a band that I've heard of before, but yesterday I listened to this really sick black metal record that my friend Whitney, who is Stevie, the vocalist of Inferi's wife, she recommended me this album, and it's very hard to pronounce. God, hold on, what was it? I don't know.
She
I'll find
recommended it to you?
Yeah, we should play it in the post show. But I listened to it. It reminded me, actually, it was like very much in the same vein as Batushka.
Okay.
But like more that. So it was like really good.
Dark hymns
from
the underworld?
Yeah, dark hymns from the underworld with screaming.
That sounds cool.
Can dig. I can't pronounce it.
Can dig.
But anyway, that was super sick. But I want to just go through a ton of albums this year, because I feel like I've been listening to podcasts. Like over the last year, I probably listened to podcasts more than music. Even though I listen to a lot of music, but I'm just kind of trying to, get back in the swing of jamming albums a lot, because I don't know, there's something about listening to a ton of podcasts that I'm not. I know that's ironic saying it from a podcast, but
yeah, I'm kind of done with podcasts. To be honest.
They're
talking in my head all the time. It's like, get out of my head, dude. I don't want to hear you.
There are ones that I want to listen to every week. Like there are a couple of podcasts that I listen to, but I don't want to go back through podcasts like I've been doing and listening to all of them, because I tend to zone out a lot. And it's like with music, you can zone out, but with a podcast, you just...
I'm not going to lie. When I got home today and you were listening to music and not a podcast, it was a way better experience.
Yeah, it's way better. I love doing that.
People talking in my house all day, it's invasive.
Yeah, that's true. Granted, I did still listen to a ton of music, but...
I know, but I mean, with podcasts, just listen to like one a day.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the way to go.
I'm kind of obsessive, and
me too.
When I start something, I'll just like want to hear it. Like there's some when I used to work full time, I'd like get into something and just listen to the person all day.
Yeah, I've noticed that about myself. Like I can go from being a non-fan to a mega super fan in the span of like a week.
Yeah.
Because I'm so obsessive with listening to stuff over and over and over.
And I don't have any time for my own thoughts.
Right. That is kind of, you wonder about that.
It's not good. All right, we're ending the podcast right now. You heard it first. No, I mean, podcasts are still going to happen, and
I think
there's always going to be people
talking.
So we might as well have one and keep people from listening to political podcasts or something like that.
Yeah.
Committing mental suicide.
Just out here trying to spread the good word.
Yeah. Are any questions coming in?
Yeah, we have a couple of questions.
All right.
I have a question too that someone asked in my email. Yeah, let's ask some questions.
All right, while you're pulling that up, I'll ask the first one.
Okay.
Lycan Lord asks, do either of you listen to any jazz? And if so, what are some of your favorite jazz drummers?
Okay.
I would say yeah. Well, aren't JD Beck and Domi jazz?
That's true.
So I would say JD Beck is probably the best current jazz drummer.
I think it's actually
like modern. Domi, yeah, sorry, my bad. I think I discovered that as well. That's like when I went around, because kefir, what everyone pronounces as kefir is actually kefir. And there was a good 3-year period where I went around trying to call it.
It's just not going to work.
It just did not happen. Everyone just wants to call it kefir.
What's that meme girl? Stop trying to make something happen.
Yeah, it's Mean Girls.
Meme girl.
It's Mean Girls. Stop trying to make fetch happen. It's not going to happen.
You're not going to be kefir. It's not going to work. Nobody cares. Like, I think necrophagist is not actually called that. It's like something else, technically, the way you pronounce it.
I mean, and to some people, I'm always going to be Chancey and not Chaney, and you're Navene. So
that's a little more rare.
The original Thal band, I can never pronounce.
Vidala Harta or whatever?
Yeah, that.
Is that how it's pronounced?
I don't know.
I honestly
I'll just say it wrong, and I think it's funny.
Shoot my shot. So Domi, I'm sorry, I pronounced your name wrong. I know it's not
sorry,
fun.
back to the question. Yeah,
Domi.
I would agree with you there. JD Beck and Domi.
Domi.
Really good.
That would be the modern. Morgan Ogren.
Yeah, Morgan Ogren is.
See,
that's not really like jazz. It's like fusion-y, I guess. I don't even know what you would call it.
I think it's fusion.
Yeah, but Morgan Ogren for sure. That's Matt's Morgan band. That's jazzy. And then Alan Holdsworth is always my favorite if you're talking about jazz.
I think the person asked for drummers.
Yeah, well, the drummers that he has with him are really good. So it's Vinny Colaiuta is amazing jazz drummer. I'm probably preaching to the choir here, but the drumming on the album Secrets is amazing.
I think that there are some people
really
who have not heard Alan Holdsworth.
Really?
Actually,
we'll have to play that.
I feel like you can hear it in people's solos, whether or not they've heard Holdsworth or not. I
literally could not listen to Alan Holdsworth without crying for like a month after he died.
That's true.
If you can believe that.
I jam.
Disturbed person.
Is Jean-Luc Ponty jazz? Because I listen to him a lot.
Definitely.
I
don't know who the drummer is. Offhand.
I guess that both of us kind of prefer the fusion-y side of jazz.
Yeah, I'm not really going to listen to that's not my thing.
I'm trying to hear have my mind blown.
Billy Cobham.
I don't know if I...
No, I have a vinyl.
Oh, okay.
We've jammed it a couple times. I'd have to look up what it's called. I haven't thought about it in a couple of years, but really good. Maybe we'll play that on the post show.
Yeah, that would be sick. We should play a bunch of this stuff.
He is a drummer, and it's his own jazz band, and it freaking rips.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's really good.
But if you guys have any... Sergio Mendes, is that jazz?
I don't know. I
listen to him on the Brazil 66 a lot.
Well, he's looking for kick-ass drummers.
Are you looking for kick-ass drummers?
Kick-ass drumming.
Well, let's look through some in the post show. If anyone out there has any recommendations,
I've already got it. Billy Cobham.
Shoot
Alan
them
Holdsworth
that way.
singles. Secrets.
Singles.
JD Beck and Domi.
Yeah.
Matt's Morgan band.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
And of course, Morgan is the drummer on Soul Niger Within, which we talk about all the time. number one best.
All right. We had some good answers for that one. I'm surprised.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I wonder if there are any other like super or modern jazz drummers. I can't really think
sure
of
there
any.
are.
But JD Beck is probably, I mean, he's just killing it. Sorry, I'm looking for the question. Go ahead, Harrison.
Well, Sean Crowder is my favorite, and he's more modern.
Who's that?
He plays in Sungazer, which is more like electro jazz.
Mm-hmm.
He fucking rips it on the drums.
We should check him out.
Sounds good.
Ricky Avocado asks, Navene, when you write riffs, do you write in a certain time signature in mind, or do you just rip it?
No, I just rip it freeform for the most part. And then I will actually... I don't think about time signatures at all. It's kind of a good and bad thing. But just by feel.
Yeah, you never... Well, I don't know if you don't think about time signatures because like that metric modulation thing you thought of.
Yeah, that's more of relative tempos. I'll think of tempos a lot, like how fast should it be? That I spend a lot of time on.
Really?
But I mean, because I make a lot of riffs that are in multiple time signatures, so I don't want to like, if I was to limit it and say, okay, this part's going to be in 5, then it wouldn't feel the same because it wouldn't have the same sort of natural turnarounds that I just want to write by the way it feels.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But sometimes I'll do things with the key. If I write a riff and it's blatantly not in a key, I'll sort of shift notes around to try to make it in a key here and there if I want to do a solo over it or something.
Yeah. Or if they're singing.
Yeah, like actually the rock song that we just put out.
I Am the Void.
Yeah. Sorry,
we just called it the rock song for
2 years.
so long, yeah.
I had to change those chords in the beginning from what they originally were.
For my voice.
Well, just because it wasn't totally in a key. It was like there was some random notes, which were fine when it was instrumental, but then with the singing, I'm like, okay, I got to change that note.
Yeah, I don't quite remember that. I don't remember it being different notes.
It was different.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a lot different, actually.
A fun fact about that song is that song and Absolute Zero were the first completely finished songs for the the first completely finished parts of the record, and that is what we gave to Metal Blade. That's actually what we used to shop around the record to see what
like the
label we wanted to sign
crazy
to.
death metal song, and then
you were like, here's a
rock kind of weird. I don't know.
Do
what
Me song. Yeah.
Do Me.
There we go. But yeah. So those were the first two, and we like high-fived when we finished I Am the Void.
Oh, dude, we were like,
we were
that's
so
it,
excited.
Man. Our problems are over. Not like what I was saying earlier about you're always gonna have some. That's not how we felt at the time. We were like, that's it. We did it. We made a hit. We're gonna be huge.
And then for a while, honestly, for the past like 3 months, it's been like, oh God, is our band gonna be over when we put that song out? I honestly had no idea what the reaction to it would be, and I have been completely pleasantly surprised because you never know. It's such a, you never know.
You never know.
You never know. So,
but people seem to be hyped on it. So
yeah, I think we might have to put it into our European set.
I'm already working on another one, dude.
Yeah. Well, that is the thing that I think that at the end of the day, it's just reassuring to know that Navene and I can take the band where we want to take the band, and that people are down for it.
I think people now these days, they're ready for it.
Yeah.
They want to hear music that it doesn't necessarily need to be one thing.
Right.
People are they've been listening to Spotify now for 10 years and they've heard so many different genres that they're willing to hear it.
Yeah, I think
we couldn't have put that song out 10 years ago. It would have been like, we could have, but I think it would have had a different reaction.
You think so?
I think if we had a sort of name as being more straightforward, which we never did, but
I think we've always been. Honestly, today I listened to a few songs off of Dark Future because it's been so long since I've heard that record, And I was like, okay, we've always been a sort of
Always been
rocky, weird band. Yeah, it's not.
Well, take for instance, Dark Future came out 5 years ago. It's not. It didn't go over as well as this stuff is going.
That's
and
true.
it's not like it's different, but it's not like so different that it sounds like a different band.
You know, I think that a part of the thing with Dark Future was that, and I noticed this today, I think the mix could have been, I would like to get the album remixed, because I think that there's a certain amount of justice that wasn't done to certain aspects of it just because of how we chose to go about it. Like the kick is acoustic and
Pretty sick.
it does sound sick, but I think that it could be, I would like to hear it remixed personally. Just to be a little heavier,
a little
I
heavier.
think. Yeah.
A little heavier.
But because live, I think that it comes across different than it does on record.
Yeah.
Which is fine. That's just how the evolution of making music goes.
That's why we made this album heavy, because we were like, we forgot to make the album heavy. We need to make it heavier this time. So I think that this album kind of sounds like Dark Future, but more heavy.
Me too. I think it's like a good mix of everything and a step forward for the band.
Yeah.
There is more singing on the record, but there is not.
There's some good parts.
Oh,
some
yeah.
really good.
I love
parts. There's not singing songs like what.
Yeah, I'm the Void is the most like rock song on the record.
Yeah.
I love calling it a record just over and over and over again.
Record.
Sounds so established.
Was there a question, or we're just
ranting and raving?
Freestyling
Yeah.
on that one?
Next question would be Jake from Scrap Pile. Does hardcore dancing have a place in death metal, considering DM fans typically are against it?
Why not?
Who cares?
Yeah, why not?
Just rip it.
Just
do
it.
If you're feeling it like that, then feel it.
Rip it, dude.
That's how you're feeling the music.
I don't really care what you want to do. If you feel like rowing, then row. If you feel like smoking weed, then do that. If you're freaking hardcore dancing, I don't care.
I would say that's cool, but it's probably going to be not like if you're doing the real hardcore dancing, you can at a hardcore show, people are kind of more used to that. Like
they know what it is,
getting hit and stuff. So I'd say maybe do it, but with a little more concern for the other participants.
Friendly hardcore dancing, softcore dancing.
Go for it, but maybe don't like hit
maybe
the
not
crowd
all the way.
You know,
yeah, because back in the day, like I would have to get guarded from that. I'd have to have someone in front of me.
Yeah, I just go like this. This is my move.
Well, I'm not trying to get kicked, but I mean, I'm okay with people doing what they do. Just don't hurt other people. Yeah, what you're saying. It's not, that is what is not cool, to hurt other people or to maliciously.
Yeah.
And I don't really know if people do that. I think that everyone now tries to be pretty conscious of if someone falls, you know, the front person of the band will stop shows sometimes to like help people out, and no one wants anything bad to happen in a crowd. So I think that's the most important thing. But we all like to see people getting into our band. You know, it's fun to have a pit, because we'll talk about that after the show. We had 3 pits during. Yeah. That was so cool. Or like at the Whitechapel show when we had 500 crowd surfers. Totally. That type of stuff is awesome. You know, it's cool, but just do it safely.
Helmet and pads.
Helmet and pads, everyone.
Yeah.
Helmet up.
Every time.
I have another question. Yeah. So this question is from Trinity. I think I'm saying Trinity's name right. So Trinity says, I've been playing around with the idea of opening a rehearsal space as a side business type of thing to bring in some extra cash. What do you think? I live near Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and there are, to my knowledge, no legit practice spots around here. I've been searching since I moved here 2 years ago and haven't found any. The closest one is in Manchester, which is like an hour away. I have to do more research to make sure enough people around here would want or need that. I have to find the right place and potentially get a sound permit, etc., as well as hire help to build the rooms and all that. There's plenty of mill space around here. This would also be a place for me because I haven't had a place to play live drums in a long time, so I would just make a room for myself. I'm planning on going to tour a place in Manchester to get ideas. Listening intently to you guys and always taking notes. Can't wait to hear the record. Thank you, Trinity.
Cool idea. I would say definitely do it, but start small.
Yeah.
Like anything else,
Mhm.
you know. Maybe find a spot for yourself, and then try to find a couple other people who want to do it, and then when you have that demand that's bigger, then expand.
Yeah, isn't that what it's all about?
That's what I would
Running a successful business is about finding a gap in the market and filling that gap. So if you think that people need a practice space, especially if you need one and you have the money, the capital to like start that up, then why not? Unless, don't take a huge risk. But if you know one other person who would want to share a practice space with you, you could even only have one room and charge people to be in there when you're not.
I mean, we didn't even have the intention on doing that here because we built a studio in our house just for us to record and make videos and stuff. And now I'm renting it out. I'm doing let's see, I've done 1, 2, 3. This will be the 4th session this week of other people using the studio.
Yeah.
So
it can't.
It pops up, and now I'm like, okay, that maybe I should keep moving in that direction. I should put some more money into that studio and try to offer it as an actual place for people to record.
Totally. And you can meet people that way too. That's a good way to further your bond with the rest of the scene and the rest of the musicians around your area. So
yeah, it kind of sounds like he's living in a place where if that doesn't exist at all, then it seems kind of like a no-brainer. Like someone's got to get that going.
I mean,
that could be a hub for like what you're saying.
Yeah. Well, for instance, we have a dear friend, we've talked about him on the podcast before, Dustin, who when we, probably 12 years ago, Dustin found a guy who had a warehouse space with a bunch of rooms and Dustin moved in there and built a studio in there and essentially got the entire Des Moines music scene to get a practice space in that building. So it's like, once you build it, they will come. People are around. It's true. People are around looking for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so.
And we know about it being a successful thing for people.
Or maybe he could meet. I'm assuming there's other musicians there. I don't know about the area, but you talk to people in advance. Hey, would you guys want to rent a room here?
Yeah, exactly.
And then if you could get a few people that are committed to doing it, you already got some clientele, so to speak.
Yeah, and I guess also, are you renting it? Are you finding a place to rent yourself, or are you buying a place? Because if you bought a place, you can make that into. I mean, God, I have a million ideas for buying an art.
I like the idea. I think you should go for it.
Yeah,
because you can make it multi-purpose.
Dude, that could be like a sick art studio.
Go all in. I'm switching my.
I'm saying drop $300,000 on a warehouse. Because, I mean, think about it. You could find people, artists want to rent places out.
There's a need
photographers.
For it. Yeah, there's a need for it.
There definitely is. And then you could decorate it and have it be a cool artistic space. I guess it's wherever you want to take it. But that sounds like a cool idea to me.
You can do the conservative way, which is get a small room somewhere for yourself and try to start getting other people in there.
Right.
Or blow it out and let's just make a studio.
I say blow it out. Let's make a studio.
I like that idea too.
Drop your life savings on
Let's go for it. Let's make it happen.
That actually sounds really cool and fun.
I mean, it seems like most of the time when there is a cool space like that, it works out. I haven't heard of too many failed rehearsal spots.
Maybe people just haven't told us the story. Remember that rehearsal spot that we stayed at in St. Louis on the Animals headliner?
Mm-hmm.
What was that one? I felt like it was haunted.
Yeah, I think they said it was haunted.
But I think about it often because I jammed with a band. I was on drums and I was jamming with a band in a room there.
That's hilarious.
That was such a fun night.
Yeah, that was fun.
But yeah, the building felt super haunted.
So you can get a haunted building.
You could, if you want, get a haunted building, do ghost tours.
There you go.
See, we've got all kind of business opportunities popping up here.
KoperCrabb business.
Do an overnight ghost tour. Dude, if you want a business, we can come up with it. Just shoot it. You got money to drop. We got money. We can make it a flop.
Oh my God. Yeah, we're the ideal people. Think tank.
All right. Well, I think we're good on
We're good. We're checked
this
in.
week's episode.
Hey, you know what? If we do the podcast every week, some episodes are going to be a lull. You know, some episodes are going to suck.
I feel like that's something that we say every episode too.
Not last week's episode.
Oh, I was thinking of a few people that we should get on to interview.
Oh, yeah. Probably it's time for a guest. We're
Yeah, I
going to
think
start
we should
losing
have one.
listeners again.
Well, I wanted to getting hateful comments. I'm checking out until the next time you get a. Well, we are the guests. How about that?
Yeah, I know. I was the guest last week. Chaney was the guest before that.
But yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't, please check out our new song, I'm the Void. And thank you, everyone who has pre-ordered our album. Seriously, the response has been incredible so far. And we didn't even talk about how Drake followed our band on Instagram
this is not
week.
a joke. Not a joke. The Drake
Champagne Poppy
follows ENTHEOS. Why? We don't know.
I don't know what happened, but but one of my videos has been going viral in like with people who are fans of rap and R&B.
Yeah, like Ty Dolla $ign dropped a fire emoji.
Yeah.
Like, this is bizarre.
It was truly bizarre.
Something's weird going on.
Yeah.
But I'll take it.
But anyway, so that was the exciting thing for the week. But
brag for the week.
Humble brag, by the way. Anyway, thank you guys so much. We love you all. We love hanging out with you. If you have not joined us on Twitch, then there's a fun pre-show, a fun post-show.
It's free.
We listen to a bunch of music. I don't know. I guess we don't listen to music on the podcast for
YouTube.
Oh yeah, for YouTube, which is lame.
So yeah, we're gonna go listen to some stuff. We've got we're gonna listen to some jazz. We're gonna listen to
some of those jazz recs.
Some of these people might have missed that album.
That's
they might
true.
not have been born yet.
I mean, I've seen Cephalic live.
Actually, that's not a joke. That album.
I think it came out.
Yeah, it came out in like 2002 or something. So I bet a bunch of people.
Does anyone listen to our podcast who is under the age of 20? I don't know.
Probably.
Whoa, crazy. Anyways, so I hope you guys have a great week.
Yeah, sorry about this episode.
I hope you're chillaxing out there.
Yeah.
Go check out the new album. The artwork is amazing.
But
pre-order that
and
shit.
thanks for tuning in.
Thank you for tuning in.
It's always a good time here. And
this is like a Copper Weiss goodbye.
Yeah.
You gotta say goodbye and then say hello again.
No, a Copper Weiss goodbye is you have to summarize what happened.
All right, we love you guys.
We hung out, we had food, it was a really good time. All right.
Have a good week, you guys.
All right, see you guys.